arms race in space. Courtney Kuby has rare access inside an Alabama facility on the front lines, guarding the U.S. against threats from China in orbit.
In recent years, the rhythmic dance of satellites and the boundless potential of the space sector has become the battleground for an intensifying geopolitical rivalry.
We know when we're threatened. We need to be able to counter the threat.
As China rapidly expands its capabilities in space exploration, it is not merely reaching for the stars, but rather strategically positioning itself to eclipse the United States in the intricate showdown of military dominance orbiting our planet.
China is a sovereign country. China can do pretty much whatever it wants.
One thing is for certain, the days of U.S. dominance in space are numbered. Today's episode will cover how China is challenging the U.S. military's dominance in space. In recent years, China has swiftly narrowed the gap with the United States in the realm of space exploration, presenting a formidable challenge to the U.S. military's long-standing dominance in this critical frontier.
When you look at the threat from China in space right now, what concerns you the most?
We seem to be asleep at the switch.
An expert closely monitoring China's military space program. As the cosmic landscape becomes a theater for strategic competition, China's burgeoning arsenal of anti-satellite weaponry raises concerns about its potential to cripple America's military capabilities in times of crisis. This evolving scenario compels the U.S. to urgently fortify its defenses against a spectrum of threats that loom miles above the Earth. As the vast expanse of space becomes a new battleground, envision a scenario where nations compete not only for territorial supremacy on Earth, but also for control and dominance in the vastness of the cosmos. What unfolds above our heads has the potential to reshape power dynamics on a global scale. China, in its quest for space supremacy, is actively testing and developing an assortment of weapons designed to disrupt, disable, or even hijack satellites, upon which the U.S. military heavily relies for its global operations. This includes a significant uptick in satellite launches and the mastery of capabilities that were once exclusive to the United States a mere decade ago. Notably, the number of satellites in China's orbit doubled between 2019 and 2021, reaching a formidable 499, according to the Defense Intelligence Agency. Furthermore, advancements in spy balloons and hypersonic missiles operating in near space underscore China's ambitions to challenge established norms beyond the confines of Earth's atmosphere. How do you think this intensifying space race could impact everyday life, and what might be the unforeseen consequences for technology and communication on Earth? Recent breakthroughs by China, such as the successful testing of a satellite refueling tanker, mark game-changing innovations that could extend the lifespan of satellites, a capability the U.S. has not yet mastered. Dean Cheng emphasizes the magnitude of China's advancements, stating, "I think the Chinese are giving us a real good run for the money."
Do you think that China militarily is ahead of the U.S. in space?
I think the Chinese are giving us a real good run for the money.
The Pentagon, recognizing the urgency, is investing billions of dollars into securing U.S. space assets. Yet, much of this crucial work remains veiled in secrecy, highlighting the gravity of the situation. Imagine a race against time, where each passing moment unveils a new technological marvel in the vastness of space. Will the U.S. catch up and secure its position, or are we witnessing the dawn of a new era where the balance of power extends far beyond the borders of our planet? The vulnerability of U.S. space forces becomes apparent with China's development of a satellite equipped with a robotic arm capable of manipulating satellites in orbit. This breakthrough poses a direct challenge, prompting engineers to design satellites with the agility to swiftly evade such threats. To counteract this potential Achilles heel, the Pentagon collaborates with private industry to create smaller, more cost-effective satellites, aiming to saturate the orbital space and make it difficult for adversaries to target critical assets. How might the ability to manipulate satellites in orbit impact not only military operations, but also various aspects of civilian life that rely on satellite technology? In the event of a conflict between the U.S. and China, experts argue that it would likely initiate in space. Satellites, once taken for granted as a cornerstone of American military superiority, are now recognized as a potential Achilles heel. These orbiting devices enable the U.S. military to communicate, navigate, gather intelligence, and conduct precise strikes globally. China's strategic focus on missiles, both ground-launched and space-based, as well as the development of high-powered lasers, raises concerns about potential cyber attacks on satellites that could compromise data or redirect their missions. A future where the first shots of a war are not fired on Earth, but in the silent vastness of space, seems to draw nearer and nearer. How would such a conflict unfold? And what ripple effects might it send through our interconnected world? The specter of cyber warfare in space looms large, with China suspected of hacking U.S. government non-military satellites in 2007 and 2008. The ability to manipulate or redirect satellites, steal sensitive data, or even render them useless poses a significant threat. As both nations engage in a cat-and-mouse game of satellite maneuvers, the U.S. faces a critical challenge with China's advances in hypersonic maneuver missiles. These weapons, capable of flying at least 20 times the speed of sound, pose a unique threat due to their unpredictable trajectory, challenging the conventional defenses the U.S. has in place. How do you think the development of hypersonic missiles and the potential for cyber warfare in space will shape international relations? And what steps should be taken to mitigate these emerging threats? Despite the urgency of the situation, the United States appears to be lagging in responding to China's advancements, particularly in the realm of hypersonic technology. This raises the crucial question of whether the U.S. can develop its own fleet in time to counter the evolving threat. The strategic advantage offered by hypersonic missiles demands innovative solutions, with some suggesting that the speed-of-light laser could be a potential game-changer. While details about offensive space weapons remain classified, the need to adapt and innovate becomes increasingly evident in a race where the stakes extend far beyond national borders. Imagine a technological arms race in the heavens, where the balance of power hinges on the ability to adapt swiftly to emerging threats. Will the U.S. be able to harness the power of innovation to safeguard its dominant position in the ever-expanding frontier of space? Or will China remain at the forefront and push the U.S. dominance out of the cosmos? With an exponential surge in satellite launches, advancements in anti-satellite weaponry, and pioneering innovations like satellite refueling, China unmistakably positions itself as the rising power in space. The doubling of satellites in orbit, mastery of technologies reminiscent of past U.S. exclusivity, and successful tests of game-changing capabilities underscore China's trajectory toward dominance. As the cosmic stage witnesses Beijing's swift ascent, it is increasingly evident that the balance of power in space is undergoing a paradigm shift, with China emerging as the imminent force to be reckoned with. All in all, the race for dominance in space unfolds as a multifaceted challenge that demands not only military prowess, but also innovation, collaboration, and adaptability. As China surges ahead, the United States finds itself at a crossroads, requiring strategic foresight and a commitment to staying ahead in this cosmic game of chess. The outcomes of this space race will not only shape the future of military operations, but also influence global dynamics and redefine the boundaries of what is possible in the uncharted realms beyond our planet. With much about how China is challenging the U.S. military's dominance in space covered, it is time to wrap this one up.